Hello, I am Quinny. Welcome to the channel. In this video today, guys, we're going to be looking at the counterpart to the video that also went out today in terms of the transfer business that Celtic might be lining up come January with a few obvious, maybe a few less obvious departures maybe the club is preparing for. I'm now looking and I'm thinking, who could we be bringing in? So Celtic have got a bit of a habit for returning to the well, so we'll see some people we've been previously linked to, how they're getting on. Could we go back for them, as well as some new faces as well that might be coming in from different shopping markets, if you like, that we've already been shopping in over the last 12 to 18 months from the far-flung reaches across the world. At any point in the video today, if you laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, and let's get stuck into it. Now, when it comes to getting to know new names and new faces from around world football that play in lots of different divisions and lots of different leagues, it can be really difficult to get a solid gauge on how good are they. Could they step up and be effective for Celtic at the level that we are aspiring to operate at? And, you know, you can go on SofaScore, you can go on Who Scored and FootMob and get all the statistics and all the kind of average ratings and all that kind of stuff. I always prefer to use Sorare data. This takes the statistics from Sorare Global Fantasy Football, where every player gets scored between 0 and 100, and the way the scoring mechanism works, it's actually fantastic for balancing out all the actions that happen in a match. So even players that maybe on these other websites or whatever get rated like 6 or something, you might actually see in these statistics that actually they put in a really good shift for the team. So the most obvious departure we're going to have come this summer is probably Josip Juranovic. Okay, so if we look at some right backs and some defenders that we've been linked with in the past, the first one that came to my mind was Sasha Boy, because he has been absolutely ripping it up in Turkey since arriving at Galatasaray, and this is somebody that I wasn't aware of at all. This was a guy floating around the Rennes Academy or something like that. And if we are like being as eagle-eyed to look into the top academies in France as well as around Europe and find guys like this that end up going to Galatasaray, could have came to us potentially and can deliver in, you know, a fantastic way at right back with goals, assists. But as you can see here, all of these scores that are deep greens, he's getting all of them with, you know, he's only got 1 assist up here. So all these incredible stats are built up by the team keeping a clean sheet, him getting involved in lots of tackles and interceptions, winning his duels, playing balls into the final third, all the stuff that we would expect to see from the Celtic right backs that we've had at the club. Now, Brandon Sope is another one that came up in that same kind of time as Sasha Boy, and, you know, he's went from Udinese to Atalanta, and he's definitely growing his reputation in Italy. But as you can see, he's hardly been a regular feature for Udinese or for Atalanta. Now, Atalanta, over the last 10 years, have been a consistent Champions League club. And, you know, they've got a good rotation policy under Gasperini, as well as they've got a good track record of selling players on for big money. So he could get his time come between now and the World Cup, certainly. But if he wasn't, and if he agitated for a move, this is a name we might see pop up again. Milan van Ewijk was somebody that I thought we should have been going for before he moved to Heerenveen. We got Juranovic. Juranovic was quality, of course, and there's not really been a need to think about elite right backs. If we are to go and get an elite right back, Milan van Ewijk is kicked on at Heerenveen since moving up from a relegated team last season. And this, a big, robust, attacking right wing back, is definitely one of the hottest prospects in European football in this position that's not already at one of the top 5 divisions. A Dutch youth international, he gets involved in both areas of the pitch, and this is a guy that Celtic could definitely be hovering around and I think would add a lot to our team at right back. Julian Araujo, for me, has been the best right back in MLS for the last couple of seasons. In Mexico, now he's a Mexico international, former Barcelona Academy player, has really been overlooked in America over the last couple of years, and I think this is going to be the January window where he transfers out. He's a very attacking right wing back. He's almost a winger. This is the guy that likes to get involved in assists. He likes to get into the attacking areas of the pitch. He likes to create goals. He loves link-up play. He's a joy to watch. He's clearly, if you do watch MLS, the best right back for me in the division. Now, if we needed some centre-back reinforcements, Koa Takura was the one we were linked with and linked with and linked with and linked with. Eventually, he went to Borussia Mönchengladbach, and, you know, he's had a kind of funny start to the season, started off incredibly well, got a red card suspension and then picked up an injury on top of that. So it's one of those ones that I think he is established himself and is going to continue to establish himself as a Bundesliga caliber centre-back. But again, we were looking at this guy when he was in Bundesliga 2 and when he was in Holland on loan from Manchester City. So again, even though his age was a little bit older than some of these other guys who have been signing up, who have been like in their very early 20s, it's good to see the identification that we've had on a centre-back like this. Now, John Tolkin has been predominantly played at left-back, okay, but this guy is a very capable operator as left centre-back and even as a defensive midfielder. For me, he's one of the best football players that is in MLS, in American football at the moment, and this guy is going to end up leaving in January, and he's going to go somewhere in Europe. It's probably going to be something like, if we don't get him, something like Salzburg or somewhere in Belgium or Portugal, and he's going to be absolutely amazing. The guy's a proper athlete. He's got a great football brain in that respect, that he can operate in this Red Bull football system. It's all about pressing and controlling spaces, forcing errors and opportunities in a variety of positions. He's still only 20 years old, and if he continues on this vein, you know, like, he will be a top defensive player and maybe defensive midfield if required, as well as left back and left centre back. Now, in midfield in the summer, the big target where we're after for so long was Vinicius Souza. He made the option, or he took the decision to move to Espanyol, and I think he's had a conversation with Man City and they've said, listen, you need to go to a top league and you need to suffer, you know. So he's went to Espanyol and he is really putting all of his defensive credentials to the task. As you can see, Espanyol have been losing heavily, but like I said, the fantastic thing about this scoring mechanism is his defensive contributions are here to shine. They lost 2-0 and he dropped a 71 out of 100 score with his tackles and interceptions and all that good stuff that you want from a defensive midfielder. I don't see us coming back in from him. I think this guy maybe has a trajectory for his career to end up in the Premier League next year, but again, fantastic to see that we're targeting players like him and Edward Michu, elite attacking wonder kid type guys. He's went to Sunderland. It's not really worked out for him, so we're not missing much, and I don't see us going back in for him unless he did return from injury and then couldn't break into the team and somehow it came around we could get him. But yeah, great to see that was how ambitious we were in the summer. With that in mind, it didn't work out for Patrick Berg in France. He's went back to Bodo Glimt. And if O'Reilly or maybe even one of the forward players were to move, we could definitely see us going back for Patrick Berg and pulling him out of Bodo Glimt in Norway. And as you can see, this lung, where he went into Lons, when he went into Ligue 1, it just might not have worked out for him. You know, kind of similar perhaps to somebody like Jenz who went to France and didn't really prosper and thrive. Patrick Berg could be in a very similar ilk. We've seen this guy perform at European level in Europa League and Conference League with Bodo, as well as domestically, you know, in their division. Like, if you can operate at a good level there, it's a pretty safe result that you'll do okay for Celtic in the worst case scenario. So with him having his tail between his legs, if you like, moving to Lons, it's not worked out. He's went back to Bodo. I could see Celtic going back in for Patrick Berg. But one of the new names that's coming up that we're very hotly linked with is Oscar Gloukh. Now, unfortunately, the Israeli division isn't covered, so we don't really have any advanced statistics on this guy. But from looking into the goals and assists that he's been capturing in his early career so far for the Israeli national team, the Israeli youth national team, as well as Maccabi Tel Aviv, is, yes, his goals and assist ratio to minutes look fantastic, but a lot of those goals and assists are coming against bottom half teams. 4 matches is where he's got his 5 goals and 4 assists. 2 of those teams are in the bottom 3. So yes, I understand he's a youth player and you're going to pick your moments to get him into the team. And I definitely think we'll be going for him, similar to Abada. But again, I'm not going to look at his statistics and my head's going to explode with, oh wow, this guy's, you know, the next wonder kid coming out. Very shrewd signing if we enter that market again. It's a transfer I could very easily see us getting over the line. And integration is there to be had with guys like Abada. We've previously had Beaton and a number of other Israeli players. So it's definitely something I could see happening very easily. Another big, strong, powerful midfielder that I think we could go after if like somebody like O'Reilly was to leave, or maybe even Rio Hatate that on that kind of left side, is Ibrahima Sissoko. Now, Ibrahima Sissoko is a bombastic box-to-box midfielder that was amazing last year for Strasbourg as they really climbed the table. This year he's had a bit of an injury and Strasbourg themselves find himself in the bottom 3. They're no longer in Europe, and by the time we get to January, if this guy is fully restored his fitness and Strasbourg haven't really got their act together, they might look to sell him on, and this could be a guy that would be amazing in a Celtic team looking to go, you know, if we are still in Europe after Christmas and somebody like this was coming in to replace somebody potentially, I think he would be an amazing centre mid to really beef us up and really help that physical aspect of the team. Because with guys like Abelgard, Moy, O'Reilly, like we don't have, beyond that, we don't have much of a physical presence, and a guy like this could offer that. Now, in terms of the forward areas, the only kind of target we went for and didn't really get was Jordan Larsson. He's went to Schalke and, you know, he's starting to bed himself in there in those wide attacking midfield positions. And yeah, I don't think we'll be going back for Jordan anytime soon. And we wish him luck with the rest of his season at Schalke. But if we have got form for going into Russia and pulling elite attacking players out, we have got, if we were to sell somebody like Abada or O'Reilly for big, big money, we have got to be going into Russia and getting Arsen Zakharyan out of there and bringing him to Glasgow. This guy is elite. This guy is top shelf. He bangs free kicks. He scores worldies. He's so talented and he'd fit amazingly into this Celtic team in that attacking midfield kind of position that we see O'Reilly take up. He's not had a great season with Moscow. They've sold some players like Szymanski and a few others with the whole situation that's on in Russia, but Celtic have shown a desire and an ability to get deals done with Russian clubs, and if we are one of the few people that are going to entertain this market, we have to get Zakharyan. If we were to sell one of our elite attacking pieces, it would just be such a great opportunity for us to pass up on. In the same kind of motivation, if you like, that brought the links that we had for Alex Collado, who's went to Elche and started his season off kind of well, I suppose, as well, in a lower half La Liga club, would be Alberto Moleiro. Now, I was not really aware of this guy until like 5 minutes ago, basically, but this guy is 18, has got one of the highest ratings of any kind of under 21 wonder kid in world football by all the statistics and all the scouting pages that you see across world football, and he's top of the league at Las Palmas at the moment, and he's got the traditional links of, he's been linked to Man City, Barca and Arsenal. Yawn. Every like wonder kid Spanish player that's breaking through gets linked to these teams. Whether there's something in it or not, I don't know. But if we do have the gumption to go for Edward Michu, Alex Collado, Vinicius Souza, these types of guys, then if this guy has a great start to the season and we're looking at the January window needing some elite attacking flair, a real prospect that we can really enhance the club with and really push on, somebody like Mudryk would have been quality, but I think he's discovered now. So we're trying to think about somebody like that, like Abada style, who's maybe undiscovered as of now, and that would be for me probably Alberto Moleiro. Definitely a name to keep your eye on, and you never know, stranger things have happened. Now at Ostend, who are not a Premier Belgian league team, let's just say, Osaze Urhoghide is really kicking on this season following the loan stint he had in Belgium last year. He's had a couple of games and already he's starting to get some credible scores and performances put in at a lower ranked team. So any defensive frailty along right back, right centre back, I wouldn't be surprised if next season Urhoghide is given a shot to maybe stake a claim. It's very early days in Portugal for Mikey Johnston, but already in his first couple of appearances, he's already getting on the score sheet and affecting the game. They've got Benfica this weekend, so we'll see how he does there. But beyond that, as you can see, there's a nice run of games in between the big fixtures for Mikey Johnston. So if he can get a good run of form and spells this season when he's avoiding Porto, Sporting and Benfica, as you can see here, we might start to hear Mikey Johnston's name get brought into the conversation again for being a useful Celtic squad addition. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some of the loanee players or some of the loan outs that we've got maybe come back into the picture for next summer potentially. So again, something to think about. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. These are the names that I'm thinking about already for Celtic, if any of these players that are highly speculated to leave, where to do so. I'd love to know your thoughts and suggestions on players that are breaking through around the world. You know, there's so rare managers from around the world here. Let me know who you think would be a great fit for Celtic in any position, really. I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.